Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. John is my name, and I'm here with Kaiser, who is on the sofa once more, to talk to you about the waking up this morning to a closed border and hope and change in the wind in Washington, D.C. for the first time in 4 years and maybe more since the Biden administration took charge of trying to destroy this country and weaponizing the justice system the way they did to prevent Donald Trump from even running for office, never mind being elected in a landslide. And the goings-on yesterday, the inauguration, provided us a lot of entertainment as we looked at the speeches, the three speeches that were given. He attended 3 balls, and in the interim managed to sign some executive orders right there in front of all the fans at the Capital One Arena, and then back to the White House to do a lot more. And then the freeing of the J6, as he puts it, hostages, was a bone of contention this morning with Morning Joe and the likes of him that are not happy at all with their lot in life now that we have a very strong president at the helm one more time to make sure that this country gets back to the strength and the leadership for the world that we once were. It's back, folks. He's back, and I'm darn glad he is after putting up with the what we knew and what we have been told all year long came to fruition yesterday when, while Donald Trump was executing his acceptance speech, Biden went ahead and pardoned all of the J6 committee and the rest of his family for infinity. And it is just this sneaky position that he has always taken. And we know now that the J6 committee was a committee of traitors that decided to ruin the life and to make sure one man was accused of an insurrection that never happened. It was a planned insurrection. We know that now through some whistleblowers and investigative reporting that's been done. And it's interesting that they would show their guilt right now through these pardons, and that's what happened. Now, if you want to remember back to 2020, when the object of him the object of Donald Trump going to pardon anybody, here, just let's take a look at this.
It's time to build back better.
President Trump is reportedly considering a wave of preemptive pardons for his adult children and for Rudy Giuliani. He's also floated the idea in private conversations, according to our reporting, of possibly pardoning himself, which he insists he has the power to do, though that has never been litigated. Does this concern you? All these preemptive pardons?
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice.
Wait for it.
Now, in terms of the pardons, you're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons. You're not going to see
in our administration that kind of approach to pardons.
I got a bad feeling about this.
From NBC News, this is a special report. Here's Savannah Guthrie and Craig Melvin.
Hi, there, everybody. Good morning. We come on the air with breaking news. President Biden, in his final hours, his final morning in office, has issued several high-profile pardons.
Among those pardoned this morning, Dr. Anthony Fauci, General Mark Milley, and the members and staff who served on the House committee that investigated the January 6th attack on the Capitol, including Liz Cheney.
And police officers who have spoken out as well from the Capitol Police.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Wait, there's more.
I have some breaking news we want to share related to all this. President Biden pardoning his family members minutes before President-elect Trump is sworn in. I want to go to our senior legal correspondent, Laura Jarrett. Laura, walk us through it.
Yeah, Lester, a rare and sweeping pardon here from the president in just his final moments while he still occupies that office, pardoning all of his living siblings and their spouses, including James Biden, Sarah Biden, Valerie Owens Biden, his sister, her husband, John T. Owens, and his brother, Francis Biden. Now, Lester, none of these people have been charged with crimes, but he says he's doing this because there is partisan politics here, obviously referring to the president-elect who's set to take office just minutes from now, Lester.
Target the bridge!
Now, in terms of the pardons, you're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons.
Interesting that what is good for the Democrats can't be good for the Republicans in any way, shape, or form. And the fact that the family that he's pardoned was up to their eyeballs in the corruption and the money laundering that took place through his son, Hunter Biden, and his affiliations with some despots and some true oligarchs in Russia, as well as the Ukraine, and in China, where they had millions of dollars transferred into false bank accounts and set up companies that you couldn't follow the money if you wanted to. But Congress, in some cases, have, and they have reported to us, and this is the reason that Joe felt that he had to pardon everybody. And if not Joe, whoever was running the White House for the last 4 years, whether it was Kamala, Jill, or possibly even Hunter making decisions in the White House because of Joe's dementia. And that's come out now, and it's very evident. So thank God for Donald J. Trump stepping back into the Oval Office and making us great once more in the world's eyes. I was very happy all day yesterday, and I'm even happier today waking up to know that the border is closed. There was an incident on the northern border this morning where a Border Patrol agent lost his life. He was shot to death, and that took place somewhere in northern Vermont, where they encountered a traffic stop with some illegals that have crashed the northern border. So there is still some nonsense that is going to take place, but there is a lot of weeping and crying at the southern border because their app that gave them a free rein to get into this country is no longer working. So now the illegals are upset that they can't have a free jaunt through the open borders of the United States of America. And it's brought to my attention that the roundup will start today, where they're going to round up some illegals here and there that are the criminal types that either are in jail or have been arrested or that we know where they are. But remember, we have an awful lot of illegals in this country that got in undetected in some cases and through the border on purpose in some cases, that were transferred to other states and places where we don't know what became of them. A perfect example of this is the person who killed Laken Riley was arrested in New York on several charges and released because of the New York sanctuary laws where you can't hold a criminal anymore. They turn him into the street, no bail required. This guy gets into another state, goes down to Pennsylvania, and then into the area where he killed Laken Riley. And this cannot happen any longer with the new administration that we have now. So let's give thanks for that. And let's look at, let me talk for a second about the people who are all over social media right now with their disdain for Donald Trump and the, it's Trump derangement syndrome at its finest. And it's still there with some people, but you people need to realize that we have to unite and get back together and be one country, not divided any longer, because the division police that were in charge over the last 4 years are gone now and will be gone. And now we need to get together and work with each other as we are, as neighbors and children of God, and behave ourselves instead of posting things that are just down and out, one mistruths and the other nastiness. It's not needed any longer. We have a good, strong president and a good, strong view. The world view of us has increased already in one day. We have more and more people coming to the table to negotiate deals and so on. So we have a fixed border right now, which will increasingly get better as the days go by. And the pardons of the J6 people, I'm not in full support of everyone being pardoned, but if you look at the fact that these people in some cases never received a trial and have been locked away just for the fact that they went to Washington, D.C. for to protest an election that they thought was monkeyed with, and we know now that there were a lot of things. Even Zuckerberg has come clean now and told us all that the White House coerced and made rules that he could not say no to. And we had a corrupt government for 4 years, and we have three-letter agencies that have been corrupted by politicians and went along with the program. So I'm not chagrined one bit about these people being released and pardoned. I do, however, feel that the Biden crime family should not have been in total pardoned. And I understand he pardoned his son, but what are we covering up here? What are we admitting to by pardoning the entire family? It would indicate to anyone that's paying attention that that may have been an admission of guilt, and that will come out. I don't think we've heard the last of the Biden crime syndicate. We'll see what transpires, but I don't want to wallow in the past any longer, and I'm sure that Donald Trump does not want to wallow in the past. He has too much to look forward to in securing the future of the United States, which he has promised to do, and promises that he had made in the past have been kept in his last administration, and I'm sure it will continue in this administration as well. So for those of you that are not happy about the inauguration, I'm so sorry for you. I think you missed some fun times and some decent speeches. Does he have the ability to not stop talking? Yes. but we need someone to communicate with us because we've just had 4 years of living in the darkness. We've had 4 years of a press secretary that came out with a book that was this thick that she had to page through. When a reporter asked a specific question, she had to go to that category. And that category in that book would give her the answers to give to the press because we weren't hearing anything from the president himself through that entire administration. He was either asleep on the beach or laying down in his basement somewhere. He spent very little time in the Oval Office. He had very little time to do anything, and it is my wonder who exactly was the decision makers in that particular administration. Was it Kamala? Was it Hunter? Was it Jill? Or was it some bureaucrat that was a secretary someplace making the decisions on world order, world peace, and what took place in a broken justice system here that was one-sided against a single person or a single party that they decided to destroy. This is coming to an end now, and I'm very, very pleased about it, and I thank God every day that we survived this last 4 years, and we're looking forward to a resurgence in the popularity of the American dream one more time. So that brings us to the Rhinos that are sitting in the Senate and in Congress that are going to probably be part of the stumbling blocks in approving the rest of the cabinet, as it appears that they don't care for some of the president's picks, but we'll see where that goes. Marco Rubio was sworn in this morning. We have a Secretary of State that I'm very proud to say will be our Secretary of State. For the first time in a long time, we have somebody that has the wherewithal to get that job done and done correctly. We still have a lot of people floating around inside our legislative branch that are less than desirable when it comes to the fact of caring enough about the American population to get the right people in the right job at the right time to make the right decisions and to get hold of our purse strings so we're no longer taking our tax dollars and throwing it into the wind and hoping something sticks somewhere for someone who doesn't deserve it. That's over, and we're looking forward to more. But speaking of rhinos, just take a look at this.
If not Trump, who on the Republican side of the aisle?
So the argument I make more of a practical argument. There's two reasons I don't think Trump should be the nominee or president. One is a practical, one's a principled reason. The practical reason is we lose with this guy.
You had said, though, that would not be the case with you. You had said that he's a populist and an authoritarian narcissist, that character is too important to me, and it's a job that requires the kind of character he just doesn't have. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. I agree with that. I mean, I think Trump's kind of a drag on our ticket. I think Donald Trump gives us problems politically. Do you think those suburban voters like Donald Trump more since January 6th? I mean, good grief. They didn't vote for him this last time. They're not going to vote for him again. So I try to make more of a practical argument to would-be Trump supporters that we lose with the guy, pick somebody else. But I honestly don't think he'll get the nomination at the end of the day. And the reason I think that is because we want to win. We want to win the White House. And we know with Trump, we're so much more likely to lose.
Dread it, run from it. Destiny arrives all the same.
And when you have these kinds of tight margins like you do in the House and you're doing reconciliation, it is going to be a tough needle thread. That's why, to me, Republicans need to stay unified. Look, I want to see Trump succeed. I wish him well. If he succeeds, we all succeed as a country. And there's all of this optimism that's coming to the country. We just at Teneo, we surveyed 700 global CEOs and investors representing $10 trillion in market cap. It's a 32-point swing in optimism. But
from when? A year ago?
From a year ago.
12 seconds later.
You know I love you, and I like to needle you and stuff.
But.
You know I love you.
Comma.
So now you're calling for unity.
I am calling for unity.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Would have been nice before the election.
He won. Look, he won.
And the other thing I thought was funny that you said was when you said, hey, look, I want Trump to succeed.
Look, I want to see Trump succeed.
You know who that sounds like? It sounds like a Democrat. It sounds like a Democrat saying,
well,
you know
I hope
what?
the Democrats sound like that.
Well, of course you want Trump to succeed. You're a Republican.
Here, look, I'm a conservative Republican. I'm a free market, limited government.
No, but you know what I'm saying. That's who I hear.
Yeah, but my brand of conservatism doesn't always overlap with Trump
I understand.
populism. Do you think those suburban voters like Donald Trump more since January 6th? I mean, good grief. They didn't vote for him this last time. They're not going to vote for him again. So I try to make more of a practical argument to would-be Trump supporters that we lose with the guy, pick somebody else. To me, Republicans need to stay unified. Look, I want to see Trump succeed. I wish him well.
I think he's a low-down, dirty, ruthless, by the way. But I like that, Holmes. I like that. Wait. Take
And I'm also running against the Rhinos. Do you know what a rhino is? A rhino may be the lowest form of human life.
Interesting at best, and I'll tell you, anybody that thinks that Lindsey Graham is going to be a help to the President Trump administration is dead wrong. And I believe that he is still one of the most dangerous rhinos that we have sitting in Congress. And this is my personal opinion, and my opinion alone, based on his past performances as well as some others that we have. But my hat goes off to Fetterman on the Democratic side, who has woke up and realized that he needs to help make this a unified branch of government that we have fell away from the last 4 years and so on. So I'm looking forward to seeing more and more of him. He's a very thoughtful person with regard to what he's had to say about the incoming administration and so on. We have to have a bipartisan aisle where we can cross the aisle and talk with common sense to our representatives on the Democratic side as well as the rhinos that are sitting there. So I hope you all are looking forward to a great Tuesday. It is bitter cold here in Appalachia this morning, and we have a week long of sub-zero temperatures at night, and it's now 20, not quite 20 degrees here, and with a wind chill that feels a lot colder, and that will be maintaining that Arctic freeze will be down here, which brings us to think about New Orleans and Louisiana and even Corpus Christi, Texas, getting snow right now, as well as Houston, which is got to be funny because they probably are not prepared to keep their roads as clean as someone who sees snow on a regular occasion. So for those people out there, if you don't have to travel, don't go out on the roads. Enjoy the white stuff while you can. And it is going to be a great day today. It's going to be a great week of watching the immediate responses from this new administration on getting the job done. Day one was a very busy day for the new president, and congratulations to all in that cabinet that have been approved, and to Donald Trump himself. And from the Kaiser Report, we're going to tell you that if you're in the freeze zones today, stay warm, get close to a fireplace if you can. Pray often that everything that is going to take place takes place peacefully and with haste, because 4 years of watching what we have witnessed is over. So we now have good to watch and make sure that we pray every day for the survival of this administration and look forward to the next 4 years of having God back in our country and in our White House for the first time in 4 years. So with that, we're going to say have a great Tuesday. I'm not forgetting that we need to post the interview about the drones, but we're going to have a drone day discussion here very soon, and before long we'll give you that interview. It's just a lot going on yesterday and today, and I know a lot of you have been glued to your TV sets both yesterday all day and somewhat for the news this morning, because it went into the late night last night, and we have a president that has put a day in that is unbelievable for most people that are younger than he is to survive, but they did. He accomplished 3 speeches, an inauguration, and signing off of a bunch of executive orders, both in public and at the White House in the Oval Office. He's invited the press into the Oval Office for that and had a press conference right there for the first time, because Biden has not, in his entire administration, had the press into the Oval Office, because we know now it's because he couldn't answer questions or somebody else was giving the answers that were required of Jean-Pierre. Anyway, we're going to say, have a great day. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for all your news and bits around Appalachia that you may be interested in. And look for our sponsor, Lazy J Farms, and we'll be bringing you some restaurants that are new and opening in the area that we want to get in and talk to the owners of and report to you what the resurgence of good restaurants that can remain open now will bring you in this region. So God bless, and bye-bye for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.